Hi, this is Geetanjali from the Green Edit. I'm hosting a podcast for the second International Arboriculture Conference, which will be held in Mumbai in March. Today, we have with us Dr. Smitha Hegde and Vijay Moras from the Amara initiative in Mangalore, which aims to increase the tree cover of Mangalore to 30% from 6.24%. They are also currently working with the similar initiative in Mysore. To start with, could you tell me a little bit about yourselves and what got you into the tree counting initiative at the beginning?
We live in a place called Mangalore, which is a very beautiful coastal town of Karnataka.
Okay.
And it has a unique identity of its own. It has got tiled roof houses, a lot of trees, and a lot of sea breeze. And it's also an educational hub. We have several institutes of education here. And then it's also a place where a lot of banks have started, such as Canopy Bank, Syndicate Bank, Vijaya Bank. So it is a place of commerce. And it also has a Harvard. It's a really vibrant society and a very nice place to settle down in life. Having said that, recently we have found a lot of changes happening in the urban setup where we have the native trees which were there around the roads disappearing, and this is becoming just like any other metropole city. So we are looking at the definition of, development. So when we think of development, we are always thinking of malls. We are thinking of infrastructure improvement. But in all this infrastructure, we have no place for this green individuals which were cohabiting with us and adding so much value to our society in terms of quality of life and maybe a whole lot. And as a scientist, I can give you a whole session on benefits of trees to the society. However, when we found that these were disappearing, I just wanted to know how we can go about assessing them, and will it matter? Can we make a difference? So, started with counting the trees, which people really made joke of us and saying that, do you have no other thing to do? Why don't you sit at home, cook something, and feed your husband and keep them happy? And why are you counting? Yes, Vijay.
It, it, it's shocking, but I'm not surprised.
But we go and we're counting trees. The first thing they'll say is in Kannada, ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಮನೇಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಇರಿ. Live happily. Why are you doing this? Walking on the streets, tiring yourself. And then many questions like Vijay would tell you that, why are you doing this? If somebody asks you, what will it benefit?
Yeah.
Very funny questions we had all. And at the end of the day, we thought that as a scientist, my as a plant biotechnologist particularly, my commitment to the society is not only in making academic publications where we write a paper and then you have an impact factor and you have impact and you are given ranking or you're given some benefit and incentives. I think we all owe it to the society as well. So all the knowledge that I know about plant sciences, if I'm not able to translate it and make our own lives better, I think I have failed as a scientist if I was not doing it. So I really felt the need that I can do something by identifying the trees, counting the trees, and telling the students and telling the local people, look, here are the trees that are cohabiting with us, and they too are living individuals, and we shouldn't be blind to their benefits and their existence. So, with that in mind, I started this tree count, and I'm now ably supported, and it's taken forward by CFAL, and Vijay
Okay.
stepped in, and together we constituted a project called Amara, and I think Vijay will speak about Amara.
No, you can just go.
Yes.
So No, I think, ma'am had written the report, and the report was, shocking that in urban spaces, just on the roadsides, if you take the total tree cover was just 6 point some number, so 6.24, which is very, very small, right? So when you,
Yeah. I mean, there was a number I read, and I thought that even by Bombay standards, that's, I think 19,000 trees for some 50 wards
yeah,
felt
so
felt little.
yeah, so what we notice is if you see Mangalore from a plane and you see from an aerial view, you would see Mangalore is very green. Okay, looks beautifully green, and
It is.
but that is the notion that we are seeing is that it's all in public spaces or private spaces. It's all in private spaces, and it won't be long when privates and when you see the property prices changing and the market, number of population moving into the city. It won't be long before it becomes another city like Bangalore when 30 years turn down the line. And then there is no incentive on the private people to tweak their green spaces.
Can I just clarify something here? So when you say private spaces, you mean in housing colonies, as opposed to the tree cover in a park on the roadside? Okay.
Yeah.
In Bangalore, we still have independent compounds with houses, and people do have their own coconut, arcanut, and mango, jack. So they all still have this farmland. So we still have luxury of owning a plot in
Okay.
Mangalore, and that is soon disappearing as apartments are coming up.
Yeah.
And then you will not have all these green cover that we have today, which are in private land.
Yeah.
Will no longer.
Yeah.
And
That they'll go.
so
Okay.
that was the tree count in when you see Mangalore as a city and you see the reality of Mangalore and in public spaces, there were two different realities, and because it looks so green from an aerial view,
Right.
no incentive for corporations or city, you know, planning commissions. Hey guys, why should we plan? It looks so green.
Right.
That is not the truth.
And
The
I
truth
think
is,
till the last drop of water disappears, we will take it for granted that it's going to rain.
Yeah.
no, and that is one point. The second thing is we notice that the awareness that is there even in our children. So we have a kindergarten all the way to K-12, right?
Okay.
And when we notice when ma'am did this project, and we notice that in the future, let's say for example 20 or 30, down when if we're talking about 2050 or something, Mangalore is one of the places that is going to face climate change more drastically. And that report so mentioned it. It's getting hotter.
And we are coastal.
Regions as well.
Right.
How do you bring this awareness to children? It's only when children walk on the street and see how interdependent we are with the species around us, they become aware of a tree and its contribution to the climate. When they walk on the street, hey, this area is so cool. Why? Because there are tree covers in this group. Why is this area so hot? It's just
Yeah.
there is no tree cover in this. That's simple, but that
Right.
doesn't come when you drive an AC car to your school or the past.
Yeah.
Cool. When with awareness, see, for me, I'm 50 years old now, and I'm to bring that awareness in, it took me like when I'm 40 to see, guys, hey, how interdependent we are, even though I've studied it. To bring that awareness is a different thing, right? That how interdependent we are with all the species all around me.
Right.
Even to say the line that, the world can survive without me, without humans,
Hmm.
and we depend on every other species on the planet, and to acknowledge it journally took me a long time.
Right.
And how soon our children and our generation understand this, take this acknowledgement that we are dependent on this, everything on the species on the planet,
Yeah.
and not the other way around. Then now nobody's dependent on the humans.
They will try without.
Right.
In spite.
In spite of us.
So
Yeah.
the least we can do is interfere with them.
Yes. So at least when we are to work with that awareness is we need to get children to that awareness. And the children can get into that awareness when they start touching trees, starting, the species all around us and say, guys,
Knowing them by the name.
going kind of an
Yeah.
our education system, even I was educated, we know very little of the world around us, but we know about the moon, the stars and all that stuff, or the physics and the chemistry, but very little for the species all around us.
Yeah, and we are kind of believers in alternative forms of intelligence. So AI means a different thing for us.
Okay.
AI means artificial form of many. but we are blind to alternative intelligent forms around ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah, plants in their own way have their forms of intelligence, be it any living organism from bacteria to others. Each one of them, the problem solving capacity is termed as intelligence. Sure, they have alternative forms of intelligence. So we are overtly, bent towards this nervous system, brain kind of intelligence, and we are driven by it. We fail to recognize that there is intelligence in alternative forms, and they have the capacity to solve their problems equally, if not more efficiently. I would say trees are more efficient in solving climate change than us. So much. They have their problem solving capacity, and we fail to recognize them as individuals or living organisms at all. And they do not compromise or they do not form, I won't say comprise, they do not form a part of our planning itself. So, when we are talking about assets, we are talking about land value, square feet value, building value, cement value, electric poles. We have place for planting electric poles, gut, everything. But when you say plant trees, the first answer that you will get is no where, no place. Okay, जगह कहाँ है? जगह नहीं है. Right. So जगह होती नहीं है, बनानी पड़ती है. And the space is not to be created on the ground. First, it has to be created here in planning. First, it has to be created here, when we see the need of it. So, unless we have that space for is in our mind and in our planning, in our draft sheets, when we plan cities, they are not going to happen. And they're just going to be liability. So, Amara was a project where we worked in union with the local governing bodies like city corporation and then the forest department and the district administration, and made sure that we are having a role to play in the town planning. Yeah.
So our vision was, that now Mangalore maybe could you consider all the space of Mangalore and private public, we may have 40% of tree cover to
Yeah.
we make that number. There's number in public spaces is hardly anything, huge number in private spaces, but on an average it out maybe around 40.
Yeah.
We want to say that, whether when our children come tomorrow and they plan the cities and I look for a city and ask for cities to plan with 30% tree covers throughout, and it's only going to happen through awareness and programs like the Amara, where we are not saying this is development is not, we're not against plan with its number, in mind.
Yeah.
And when you plan with that number, whether it is private and public, you make sure that eventually, when maybe 20 or 100, whatever, you have that tree covered and maintain use planning for all species thrive in that.
Right. Yeah.
If the city is beautiful, if the city is, pleasing to all species, people will enjoy that city as well.
Of course.
And that's,
I mean, we are beings of nature. So,
yes.
we are happy as
Yes.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
there are places for people to walk around, the people are places to socialize around, and that is the way we want our cities to be, and not just concrete spaces. Second thing is when we regard schools as well. If you see the campus, the parts, school building and all, we build it with to show and to tell our children that we have to come up with. You need to know what is causing the greenhouse gases.
Right.
Ultimately, you'll realize that everything we consume is creating greenhouse gases, one way or the other, because it needs something to manufacture it, and manufacturing requires power, and the power is coming from only few sources.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
And then we bring that consciousness to the next level, saying that now you realize that every consumption, now can we go towards sustainability?
Right.
And
Okay.
where we are as a school.
Okay. I had a question. This has been a citizen initiative as well. There were other participants as well in the tree counting and plantation drives. I mean, how many people were there? And what did it take to get so many people involved?
I think we started with a few people. Like we first had meeting the city corporation, and had a lot of people coming in from say builders association. Then we had Rotary clubs. Then we had
For tree counting?
count first. Before counting, we had one thought that if I'm going to plant somewhere random.
No, ma'am. Let's go back, right? So the tree counting was done with students, with multiple groups.
Okay.
That was a tree count. After the tree count, we give a report to the city corporation saying this is a report. And we said that we gave up saying that how do you bring it to 30% tree cover? Okay. For that,
At that time, you had how much? What percentage was it?
so when we did the tree count, it was 6.24, right? And when we gave up, and it says in the next 10 years, let's bring Mangalore to 30% in, public spaces. And then we walked around with students and organizations and says, where can we plant those trees?
Right.
And we did it with city corporation, municipal workers. We did students. We did it with Rotary Club. We did it with builders. We did it with organizations.
NSS, national. So we took up every resource that was available to us, which were all, and there were some communities, local community like leaders, all those who came forward. And then we went around ward-wise with the multipurpose workers to see where you can actually do the planting.
Okay.
And then took approval from the city corporation that we are going to plant trees in this. And then the labor was provided by the city corporation of Mangalore. And the trees were provided by the forest department of Mangalore.
Okay.
Student volunteers, which were over, say, nearly 1,500 and more student volunteers we have who came on the street and did the planting. And now we are requesting city corporation help to water it and take it forward as well.
Okay.
So we also took some other local NGOs who are already doing tree planting, and everybody on board. There was no anybody who cared for trees were there. And sometimes when we travel also, we'll be looking in apartments and looking people who are having pots outside their balconies. We are eyeing them and saying maybe we can include them in the movement. So,
Okay.
Mara in Kannada means tree. So, Amara in Sanskrit means infinity.
Right.
So, we believe
Oh.
that without Mara,
Alright.
we cannot be Amara.
Interesting.
So, to be
I didn't find out the name that way at all.
Mara makes an important part. That's how we thought of naming it Amara. In the Mangalore has one unique advantage that we have the sea coast and we have mangroves.
Yes.
So we had people planting mangroves also. So this year for a project, we planted over 11,000 trees in Mangalore city and 40,000 mangrove saplings. So we have planted this. So every year, Amara will be continuing to plant trees and taking care of them. Hopefully, in another 5 years, we'll achieve 30% green cover for Mangalore. That's it.
A little bit of insight I wanted to understand. Since Mangalore is also a city, and I live in Mumbai, which is so deeply corporatized. It's
I lived in Mumbai for 5 years, ma'am.
I saw that.
Amaruya. Amaruya.
Correct. When was this?
This was in the, I will sound like a fossil if I say this, 89.
Okay. So obviously the city is much more concretized since then. But how do you what were the sort of spaces that you found where you could plant trees? So I'm trying to understand from a Bombay perspective. Of course, as you say, we think concrete first and plants later. So there will be solutions if you change that perspective. But I wanted to get a sense from you. What were the spaces that you found? What were the plots that you found where you could plant trees? And mangroves also, because here even the mangrove space is encroached upon.
Yes. That is actually another a threat when we look at
It's a huge threat to coastal cities.
where they are filling in this region. At Mumbai, I know Mumbai has come up by landfilling itself. So monsoons you get water coming from up, down. It's not the rain that drowns Mumbai, but it is the rains that drown Mumbai. So I understand where the question comes from. So when we think of development, I think Tokyo is one of the most populated city,
Okay.
but it's also one of the green cities. Because if you look at their culture, they have these shrines, they have their hillocks where they do not disturb. In the heart of the city, there is a shrine, and the shrine is surrounded by green trees.
Okay.
It comes as an integral, a cultural part of it, to worship nature and to be a part. So even New York, they have a central New York park.
Right.
So when we think of development and well-planned cities, the culture of it, is also an integral part of the green cover. So when it comes to Mangalore, we have a lot of banas where we have trees in clusters. So so far we have not touched that because that's a very sensitive point. But we have found that the dividers between the two roads, right, there is quite a little space in it for medium sized trees. I'm not saying very tall trees.
Okay.
A lot of planting was done in the dividers where it is medium sized trees.
Okay.
They produce they act as a barrier for the oncoming traffic also. Otherwise, too much headlight coming on from the front side. So if you have a sound, noise, and pollution, all that also matters. So we found space in the median, and then we found space in new areas which they are developing.
Okay.
Before the interlock is being put, we can put in those areas.
Okay.
Interesting. And then if you take the city corporation into consideration and forest department, they will take care when they put the interlocks also to have these actions and take it forward.
So, when we went around the cities and we walked around, we know that there was a space that was kept for the trees. Yeah. And that's also the awareness that students and parents got. They walk with
Yeah.
there is not the awareness that is, not the information that's
Of course.
get unless they walk around it.
Correct.
When they're walking, when they're driving around, they say, oh, why are they not planting trees? Why there's no space kept for trees?
Right.
So if initiative that we did was not to find spaces or, not to, we may not build, we'll probably have a losing battle there.
Yeah.
But we're having a winning battle in the terms of awareness. And when awareness is there, more of the parents will plan and they're sitting.
Correct. Yeah.
The point right now is that nobody is acknowledging that there is no space. They're not planning for it.
Right.
And
Self-doubt.
once as a city, we acknowledge that we are not planning for it.
Yeah.
It's like an alcoholic, right? Who first has to say, guys, I'm an alcoholic, but he has to come there
Right.
into the tree.
Yeah.
For it,
Yeah.
is that acknowledgement phase.
Right. You also said that you had some builders coming in for some of your scouting sessions. What was that? I mean, I'm asking only because this idea is that building and development are anti-trees or, anti-nature, anti-environment. So what is that conversation like? Also because you
So,
get people who are in the space then to look at the situation differently, not problem.
builders, we have, I think, as per the Commission of Environment, I don't know what the regulations are, but they have got sewage treatment plants, right? STPs, they have treatment plants. They have a problem or they don't know what to do with that water because it cannot be entirely reusable. Maybe 30% can go back to the, the tanks and, to their flushes and all that stuff. But the remaining 70% cannot be used.
Okay.
We got them involved and saying, guys, can you adopt this roads in front of you and says, can you water the plants and the trees using that free water, provided that treatment is checked by the pollution board.
Right.
So now we're giving them a solution for the problem they already have. They don't know what to do. And they're supposed, has regulation, they're supposed to compost all the things, organic matter that comes in Mangalore at least.
Yep.
What to do with the compost? Go to the trees around your own neighborhood
Right.
and take it by ward. So right now, what the corporation is saying is, if you don't have spaces to empty the water, take on tankers and find another space to put it in.
Dump it.
Dump it in.
Okay.
So some have a problem. And what happens is, as a result, it doesn't go to the dump yards. It just goes to the drainage lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they too have a problem which they need to solve.
Right.
If they too are incentivized on maintaining green spaces, why wouldn't they do it? Right now, there isn't. the whole thing is planning is not detailed enough.
You're not connected. All the parts are not connected. They're not speaking to each other. So, yeah.
And when you take a look at the United Nations Sustainable Goals also, you have all these 17 goals. The economy comes on the top. And then you have the society, and the base is the biosphere. So unless your biosphere is sound, you will not have a sound society. And if you do not have a sound society, you will not have any economics there. And many a times when we think about development, we'll see the top layer. We'll say, okay, will there be tourism? Will the commerce come in? Will the land value go up? Yeah, I know. But then if they are not based on a well-fed society where the food is in abundance, where the resources are, air is good, and all of the health is good, no? And all this good health and the good environment comes on the biosphere.
Yeah.
Unless we have the
This is
biosphere
so
in
true,
check.
right? When the sub 80s, 90s, when we drove to Bangalore, it was such a green city. Everybody said, what a beautiful city to.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Bangalore was, Bangalore was the aim at one point in time. You go there and have a relaxed life.
Yeah, and imagine Croydon, and we just saying to say cities, no matter who it is, every citizen wants to go to a city that's beautiful, that's greener, and that's places to walk and enjoy that
And
community
bring up their family.
and bring up
Yeah.
families. You destroy that in terms of prosperity or this thing, then you're destroying the same reason that people are moving into the city.
Correct.
Yeah, that balance is important, is what we're saying.
And yeah, Geetanjali, something Vijay and me realize is that there are no Avengers coming to solve this problem for us. There's not going to be any Superman or Superwoman.
We used to have Captain Planet in my days, but there is no Captain Planet either.
I guess we are quite tired of waiting because
True.
somebody has to take initiative.
Yeah.
And then that's the reason why we have taken initiative and making a difference. And we as educators and teachers, if we don't do it, I think we will be failing in our profession as well.
I mean, in all these years of working with people in the awareness space, also have you seen a change in attitude, like that something that showed you, okay, this
I
something we've done. There's one drop.
I think for us, we work with children, we work with students. And I'm telling you, when we have a CFL has a day when we plant trees, the youngest ones are the most enthusiastic ones. They get their parents, they get their grandparents, and all of them come to plant.
Okay.
The older we get, the less enthusiasm.
And last year we get.
We thought, we are thinking that if children are naturally connected to nature, we miss them. Right. We teach them all kinds of things. If you take a kid to to the beach, they enjoy playing in the sand much more than an older person does.
Right. Yeah.
We are disconnecting them from nature. So we thought, as a school, what better that we can do if we can get the children and the parents connected to nature back?
Right.
And it's something that, if it's a flaw is there, I've been an educator, I've been in education. It's our mistake that we have failed to educate the generation that is there today.
Right. Yeah.
So who's to blame? Educators, education.
Right. I think city education or the traditional education that we have now, very focused on exams and jobs and money, etc., and not
Be educated.
the space that you live in. Oh, what about adults also? I mean, as you said, adults are the policy makers, adults are the planners. How do you get them to
Involved.
how do you get them to this point, essentially, to get re-excited? Adults are equally excited about nature. I think we just, we don't know where to begin.
So I don't know, but I think when we realize our children are there, no matter what it is, but no matter which adult it is, it's a parent or a grandparent.
Right.
If they see the value in it for their own generations, for the next generation, they will be involved.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's how we have to show it to them. You cannot.
That's it.
So in this road that we make, we have not only done the count in terms of number, also have measured the height and the girth of the tree.
Correct.
Then and noted the geographic location of it. So we are able to calculate how much carbon it is fixing for Mangalore city. In future, when we are going to have net zero, where everybody is talking about net zero, we are talking about carbon footprints, we are talking about going carbon neutral. All these data is going to translate into some advantage for these town planners.
Right.
So, according to the Act of Karnataka Forest Department 1976, every city in Karnataka is supposed to have the count of all trees in the city.
Okay.
But how many cities have? Okay. Yeah, Mangalore has. So, yeah, and we have submitted it to the city corporation. So, they will see it as an advantage for them. Then only they are going to support you. So everybody looks at it, Geetanjali, with the sight of what's in it for me.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
So if the policymakers do not find that it has some advantage for a city to have a tree count,
Yeah.
they're not going to indulge in it. They're going to see it as a wasteful exercise.
And it brings a lot of accountability as well. So
Yeah.
give a number. Every city, policymakers, whether it's the government of India, there is a lot of incentives for the green cover. It's built into the tax system. It's built into the forest department rule. They have to plant so many trees. The thing that we noticed is that whatever the government is trying to do is saying it's getting done, but it's not actually happening on ground.
Jugad.
So what I'm roughly to say that if you pull out the number of reports, for example, and say how much each Mumbai has planted, you're in Mumbai and says how much is Mumbai planted last year, you will get a number. And the number is shockingly big. Okay.
You can't see it.
Yeah, if you see it where it is, it isn't.
Yeah.
So we are saying that
We will tell you where.
yeah, the policies are there,
Right.
incentives are there, the money is there for the city corporation policymakers to actually get it done. It's not getting done is what we're trying to say.
But you're also doing the follow-ups, right?
Yeah,
I wanted to come to that. You're also checking how the trees that you planted are doing and tracking them on a regular basis,
a yearly basis.
a yearly basis. But like that the ones that you planted a year ago are still around,
And that's
still being cared for.
these are what we want to give to the country. We're saying follow this method,
Right.
and you will have accountability of everything that is being done and actually whether the spaces are getting greener or not.
Right.
So what we're trying to do is what we did for Mangalore was just a model, and right now we're doing it for Mysore.
You are.
Model that can be emulated by anyone in every city. Give a transparency to government on if what they're trying to do is actually getting done or not done.
Okay.
And
So
currently we are even doing Mysore.
yeah,
And Mysore count today, I hear, is nearly 45,000 trees we have counted.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. How long does the process take?
so
How long did it take in
the
Mangalore?
whole city, that's our target.
Sorry?
6 months
Six.
to finish.
Okay. Okay.
So we're going to be trying hard for Mysore. Mysore, we think that's going to have 1.2 lakh trees. We're way
Okay.
behind. So
We are looking first at the street
Yeah.
trees, Salumara,
Okay.
and subsequently maybe in the parks and maybe in the government offices there are many more.
Yeah.
And I pray and hope that we'll get so tired counting them. So I am looking forward to it out.
Yeah.
But it looks like we are having a cakewalk. So that's very sad. That's very sad. How do you think it'll be in Bombay? I can breeze through in a helicopter.
Probably. I mean, urban life is a little bit weird because where I live, there are a lot of trees outside my home on all sides of the windows. But I mean, you go to the street next door or the apartment colony next door, and there are no trees there.
Yeah.
So we're all in separate cocoons, and you don't really understand what's happening overall.
In Mysore, I found one very strange observation. I don't have scientific data to prove it, but I think I will one day because I'm noting it down. The bigger the house, you have marble on the compound wall, you have marble and you have, but no trees in front of it. But then you have one house with tile roof and, an old house.
Yeah.
There are trees all around it.
That's correct. That's correct.
The more the expensive houses that we build, less green it is. So
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept yet.
Where I live is an old colony. It was built in the 1960s, so it has lots of trees and it has space for parks, etc. I've seen what's happened here in Bombay also is when a house or an old building gets redeveloped.
Yeah.
Somehow the space between the building and the boundary has also become so small
Yeah.
that there can't be space. There's not even space for light. I mean, I forget trees. I don't know how they're keeping space for light. So,
Can understand.
I think a helicopter and half a day should be enough. No. What are the positive changes that you have seen in Mangalore um, with the tree plantation drives? It's been one or 2 years now.
2 years.
Okay. Have you been able to see any noticeable change in climate, in weather, in temperatures?
So we don't have that data. So we are working on having
Once in
nine.
5
Yes, no. We are putting that. We have put it on front top of our school weather station.
Yep.
We're planning to put 9 weather stations.
Okay.
And that would not a very complicated one, which can ties into the the weather station as well. So just the temperature, the humidity, the wind patterns, few,
Yeah.
and and their quality problem. And then we want to see how it is changing, and if that state is live to the government as well. Right.
Okay.
Even when was asked to go and to give advice to Amaravati. We advise them that, when you're planning a city, not only plan this thing, plan the weather monitoring system as well, so that what you're doing is bringing credible change to the system.
And after this study was done in 23, so we are going to, once in 5 years, we are going to do a correlation study of green as to. So it's an ongoing study, and we'll be able to give you some concrete value at the end of another 2.5 years.
Any sense of maybe a happiness index or something when people talking about seeing more green in their spaces?
So we've just started planting last year, right? So 2023 was it.
Sure.
Census was done. 2025 we started planting. I think what you're saying is valuable, and I think we should do it. And I think even probably the awareness of the people also should be measured. I think these are things for us to click on. We have not touched those yet.
It's early. There's been so much else to do. I was just jumping the gun, so to speak. Okay. You are, of course, taking the project to Mysore, as I've learned. If someone else were to sort of start it in any other place, whether it's Bombay, whether it's Pune or something, what are some pointers that you would suggest? Roping in the local government body?
I would say you need a woman like Smitha to be nearly. Hey, yeah. And secondly, always you need a woman to lead it, because or women, when I see nature spaces coming or conferences coming, I've seen actually the women leading it. And so you need to find that person.
Okay.
Yeah. And second is, I think in the timeline, once it's done, you need a very short timeline. You cannot have the enthusiasm go on for years and years and years.
Correct.
You need a 6 months timeline. You need to find a leader.
Technology as well.
Yeah, technology and everything is possible. You need that person. You need that
Commitment.
woman who is going to take responsibility for that city.
Don't shed it on women, Vijay.
Mom, I don't see the men doing it.
Is there some kind of training that's required, or is it just going in?
No, if any city,
One
if any city I'm willing to do it, and Smitha will for anyone that's willing to do it.
Immediately. And right now, Mysore tree count,
Yeah.
we are sitting here and talking to you. Mysore tree count is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so lovely. Good number of people who are coming and doing. And the oldest tree counter is around 74 years old. And he comes every day morning and does tree count and goes. He says it heals him. And I'm sure it's life transforming for many individuals when they come to it. That is the hidden curriculum, is that to connect, and they are the stakeholders. The beneficiaries are the people who are living in the vicinity of the trees.
Right.
So if they take care of their surrounding, I think our job is done.
Okay.
So that awareness is happening, and we are delighted to take it forward, and we will see.
Geetanjali, we are trying to develop an app as well. We have EpiCollect is one of the apps we're using in along with PlatNet, along with Google Maps. But the one that develop is in a way that all the data remains in India. It doesn't go right now. It goes to Imperial College of Business.
Okay.
Where once this app is developed, we would not only want it will be in every citizen of the country will be enabled to do audit outside his house. You can do an audit outside your house. It'll be so simple. And by this way, if we can open, the schools and school colleges around the country, within a matter of 3 years, we would have all the cities mapped.
Yeah.
So that
And also different kinds of trees. I just have to go to an app to recognize that one, which I'm not fully sure what the name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this will also, we're trying to bring in gamification to it to find out the local people who have contributed the most to keeping the place green,
Sure.
and, we're trying to find out communities of naturalists who are there. Hey, I'm a naturalist, but I don't know the neighborhood naturalists who are there. So
Right.
get those
Yeah.
together. And I think when that community is built, and then I can design parks and walkways. Hey, where do I want to walk? Where's the best place to walk? Now, this app will tell you if you want the greener space, this is the kind of places you want to walk in.
Sure. Oh, wow.
And that's what we're trying to work and develop.
In a world where people can run after imaginary Pokemons and collect them on
Yeah.
streets, well, why would it?
This would be great. Yeah. Yeah. You could do a tree race. With like a treasure hunt. Person to find the first 100 people's or banyans.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we want to work this out. We want to make it work. And we want to have an app that not, the intention is not to, anything else. Just to say, how can I, the thing that ma'am says, and I'm going to say it today, right now, if every human in this country can have an Aadhaar number, why not every tree on the streets?
Yeah.
If every tree,
I mean, they are citizens.
every,
Youth and as
They have an address.
yes.
They have an address,
yeah.
a name,
Yeah. And we're giving them an identity just as what humans are given the identity.
and can they live their full lifespan,
Yeah.
And 70, 80 years, can they live without
Yeah.
being disturbed or cut?
So that's what we're working on. Every tree,
That-
identity.
Okay. Lovely. Last question. What would you be speaking of? You're speaking about the initiative at the conference, upcoming conference. Can you give me a little peek what it's going to be and what are the insights are going to be also for the layperson, or is it going to be for specialists?
I think trees are something that appeal to specialists and layperson alike. Trees, it will definitely affect every person who breathes.
Right.
So as long as we all breathe, we are dependent on the trees, and we need to pay our respect to their existence on Earth.
Okay.
Our presentation will demonstrate that tree audit of urban cities is possible,
Mhm.
and they can add value to the city corporation development plans, and they can add value to the quality of life of people living in that area, and we can take it forward with that thought.
And for my, one of the thing is, how do we execute it, right? Everybody has a problem. Every city has a problem. There is no tree cover. Everybody got, the problem. With this project, what we did is, how do we solving it? How did we solve it at Mangalore, and how can we solve it at a country level, and how do we get people together, students together, is what we're going to talk about as well. We're going to also talk about the importance of arborists being there as well. Right now, when trees are are getting older, or for example, they are cut for the electrical fences or anything ruthlessly, right? Every city municipality commission has to have arborists that have to be catered, has to be on trained. And if that municipal corporation doesn't have this, you might plant trees. We don't know how to take care of them.
Right.
So we were talking about the gap that we're seeing as well in, and that skill set, whether it is training and the skill set becomes as a course that is giving certification. We are seeing jobs that are needed, whether it is an industry, whether it is an company. They are seeing this. They want to green it. They want to maintain it. They want to, but there is no people to do it.
Yep. Right. Okay.
So we're saying that this is the problem. This is what we saw, how we are solving it, and what we see as job opportunities that will come out with these things.
Okay. Geetanjali, every day, over 1,500 people die in India on street accidents, road accidents.
More.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Much more, I'm told. Please for me if I'm wrong. Um, but at the same time, we build safer roads, we make safer vehicles, etc. But when a tree falls, it's big news. Tree fell and so many people came under it, for many things. But
Almost as if the tree did it on purpose.
yes. So what are we doing to take care of that tree?
Right.
What are we doing to maintain safety of the tree and safety of the people living around the tree?
Right.
So we have to make sure that the urban environment is safe. And like Vijay said, it's a science that we can build up, and a lot of job opportunities are there to take care of the safety of the trees in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, we will be adding value not only in terms of air, all others, but it can also be of engagement in terms of employment.
Right.
Because right now, the only qualification for a gardener is I can water. Pani dalna aata hai. There's no other skill that is given to him.
Right. Right.
So we can build up on that.
But there are,
Okay.
yeah, so I think we see that whether it is gardening, whether it is indoor gardening, whether it's, organizational or institutional gardening, or then tree management, forest management, these are professions that are people with wealth or companies with CSR funds are willing to fund it. But no entrepreneurship, there is no training that's happening in schools or universities that is getting them to these professions.
The skills, yeah, the kind of skills that are required.
I agree. Yes, it's open. And this is something that AI can't touch. I know.
I can't climb a tree.
When you want to be in the physical world, you want to make physical changes in the physical world, AI can't touch it.
The joy of
Yeah.
climbing trees.
It's AI proof. Yeah.
Yes.
AI-proofed jobs.
Yeah. I think that's a good selling point for us. Okay, great. This is lovely speaking with you.